They retreat the crocodile. Oh, is this Rotom? Okay, this is really bad. YouTube, today we're trying out a brand new team, and this team top cut the Japan National Championship with Tangrowth. Yeah, it's a crazy team with Tangrowth with Chlorophyll Focus Sash. Now, normally we've seen Tangrowth in the past run the regenerator sets because it's pretty bulky like a Moongus. It's actually pretty slow, but with that Chlorophyll, just barely outspeeds opposing Calyrex Shadow Rider, so it can be decently fast, threatened with fast sleep powers and rage powder support as well. If you do enjoy the videos, be sure to leave a like down below, leave a comment down below, really does help me out. And you want to check out the details of the team and the creator down below in the description, and you can grab the rental code while it's available. But let's get started and play some games. Mienshao, Solgaleo, Sableye, Zacian, Whimsicott, Ditto. We saw Solgaleo and Zacian top 16 of the Japan National Championship with some support mods, but this one takes it to a whole new level. Okay, what am I going here? This is a very unique matchup right now. Trick Room could be okay here. I'm not that against Trick Room, but Sableye makes it a little bit awkward. The Mienshao is actually pretty threatening damage wise. I kind of actually like the Calyrex lead with Tangrowth. Sleep Powder actually can put in some work here, or the Rage Powder even. I don't think it's too bad. Yeah, I could also lead Tangrowth plus Groudon, which isn't bad either. I just feel like my opponent probably should have answers for Groudon. It is one of the most common Pokemon in the format. Incineroar definitely wants to be brought, and then Groudon. I could also lead Tangrowth plus Groudon and just go in, but I just don't know if that's worth it. I mean, I'm gonna try it probably. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try Calyrex plus the Tangrowth out because I feel like Rage Powder could go really well. I could see myself going for the Sleep Powder, switching to Groudon, depending on who they lead specifically this turn one. Let's see, because this is gonna be a pretty important factor. If I am able to get the Sleep Powder off, it's huge. I don't like going for the turn one Sleep Powder, but sometimes you just gotta click it with these teams. Sableye plus Solgaleo here. Okay. This is pretty good, I think, because I do have choice specs on the Calyrex right here. So if I'm willing to just go for the Astral Barrage, I don't know if they're policy. I could see the Shadow Sneak on the Sableye right here. I think I'm just going to go for the Astral Barrage here. As long as they're not safety goggles, Sableye, I should have nothing to worry about. Rage Powder here. If they go for Fake Out, it should be okay here. Then I get Groudon in, and then I threaten another Rage Powder. They're going to Dynamax this turn, which is completely fine. It's to be expected right here. Let's see what they decide to go for here, because they're not exactly in that great of a position against the combination. We're going to see the Solgaleo does Dynamax here. Best case scenario is like if they trick or something. But actually, if they trick, it's a little bit awkward if it's policy Solgaleo and they knock out my Tangrowth, but we'll find out. Because they would get a Focus Sash. Rage Power does come out before the Tangrowth, or before the Sableye moves, so it's definitely either Fake Out, not Fake Out here for sure. I'm gonna beat a Trick. Okay, really nice. So no Iron Ball, no Lagging Tail. That's actually really ideal, as we're gonna get the Iron Ball. Okay, but they did get a Sash, which is kind of awkward. We do get the Astral Barrage off. Huge amounts of damage, like really big amounts right there. Okay. And the Steel Spike is going to come out. It's not policy on the Solgaleo. Tangrowth should survive this. Yeah, Tangrowth's going to... Wait, Tangrowth Rage Powder, I just win. Tangrowth Rage Powder just wins. It's Life Orb Solgaleo, and that didn't even knock out the Tangrowth, because Tangrowth just has massive physical defense. So, yeah, we just do it again. What's stopping me from clicking again? Is this going to be a... Okay, no forfeit. A Rage Powder is going to come out. I don't know. They don't have goggles, we know that for sure. I don't think the Sableye can do anything here. I goes for the taunt, which is fine, because the Tangrowth has redirected the Sableye from doing any shenanigans into my Calyrex, like that Iron Ball trick from turn one. Yeah, double knockout. Calyrex is now at +2 special attack. This Tangrowth looking like a monster with the Calyrex right here. Ever heard of a Moongus Calyrex or NDD Calyrex? Say hello to Tangrowth plus Calyrex, because Tangrowth able to tank one hit really, really nicely right there. Let's see who they're bringing out as the last two, but it's probably Zacian. Wait, did they have a Ditto? I just realized. Wait. How bad is that? Completely forgot about the Ditto. It's probably okay. Question mark. Oh, jeez. I completely forgot they had a Ditto. Probably should have thought about my positioning a little bit more. Incineroar can probably swap in. Groudon. I think this is the out here. Yeah, I think this is the out. I don't have a dark move on the instant. If I had a dark move on the instant, then like I give the Calyrex a +3, then I just don't KO the... Do I even KO their Calyrex? The problem is because their Calyrex is not... Oh boy. Maybe I can hope that this isn't Scarf, but this should be Scarf Ditto always. Yeah, they're faster. They go for the Astral Barrage. This is a +2, but I think Instant should be able to live like Behemoth Blade. But if they went for Sacred Sword here, this is really bad. Because now it's a +3 Ditto. And I do have my... Man, if I had Max Phantasm, it'd be really nice here. Because I could just like shout... I could just Phantasm right here. They do go for the Sacred Sword into the Instant. Okay. I'm going to need Groudon to massively survive this with Dynamax. And I kind of don't believe it. Groudon into Tangrowth. I should have repositioned that carefully. Okay. We're going for a Max Quake here, and we're going to go for Protect. We have to hope, basically. Like, if we KO the Ditto and survive the double up, we do win the game because Max Quake knocks out the Ditto, and then afterward, the Zacian goes, and I could just Rage Power the Zacian. I just completely forgot about Ditto. I don't know why I completely forgot about Ditto, but I did forget about Ditto, and now I'm paying the price here. Groudon has to survive this +3 Astral Barrage plus Behemoth Blade, which is possible. There is an Intimidate on the Zacian right here. So Protect with the Tangrowth here. We're going to see the Astral Barrage come out, which I imagine they're locked into at this point. Okay. Groudon actually takes that really well. We should live a Behemoth Blade, I'm pretty sure, because it's intimidated. If it wasn't intimidated, yeah, we wouldn't have survived this, but we should be able to live with Groudon here. Yep, okay. We just need to KO the Ditto. We just need to KO the Ditto with Quake. I don't know. That's a pretty tall order, but let's find out. Max Quake into the Ditto slot. Does pick up a knockout. Woo. Oh, that could have been really dangerous. I played so dumb in that one, forgot about the Ditto, but thankfully Max Quake does knock out. I believe that's just because if it was regular Calyrex, if Calyrex just survived that, sure, I think it might, but because Ditto has less HP than Calyrex, that's actually the big difference because Ditto doesn't copy the HP stat. If it copied the HP stat, I was donezo, but oh, and now Tangrowth can finish the game with Rage Powder. Oh, I cannot believe that. I played so dumb. If I were to replay that again, what I went for? Probably Protect and probably Instant Pivot, I think. Because I would try to not get the knockouts. I'd try to stall out the Dynamax and then focus on getting knockouts when the less threatening Pokemon are available. And then I'd have Groudon pretty healthy, I think, for the most part, next to the Calyrex Shadow Rider. Assuming that they aren't transformed into my Calyrex, I should be fine for the most part. But oh, that could have been really, really scary. Max Quake is going to knock out the Zacian, and you know, sometimes I just have those moments. I completely forgot about the Ditto in the back. I kind of just was like, oh, this lead, I eat it up. And then I forgot about the Ditto in the back. But thankfully, it's not Specs Ditto. It was a Choice Scarf Ditto. I think me sacking the Instant was actually really important because if I kept the Tangrowth in, it would have been very devastating right there because they would have had an extra special attack boost. And as we saw, that difference could have been everything right there. Although I guess I would have got a Fake Out with Instant, but it could have still been ugly, I think, overall, because the Zacian would have still been alive, I'm pretty sure. A Life Orb, Focus Sash on this. We're seeing the Iron Ball trick set, which we saw. We see the Rusted Sword Wild Charge set. The Switcheroo on the Whimsicott. Wow, this has double trick and Switcheroo. That's crazy. Choice Scarf Ditto. Yeah, it was a Choice Scarf Ditto. No surprise there. And wait. No wonder I get. Wait, hold on. Their Ditto's max attack, max speed. What? You always run max HP Ditto because Ditto doesn't copy the HP stat. Okay, wait, hold on. Does that matter? I'm calcing this. Hold on. Okay, I looked at the calc. It doesn't matter because my Groudon should always be able to KO the Calyrex Shadow Rider. Well, the Ditto with Calyrex Shadow Rider stats. Uh, but what the heck? Why are you max attack, max speed Ditto? Why are you max attack Ditto in the first place? For struggle? I don't know about that one, but that's still crazy. But yeah, I do KO Ditto thanks to Max Quake. I don't knock out a Calyx Shadow Rider guaranteed with Max Quake. If it was Calyx Shadow Rider, but since it's Ditto and the HP stat, it makes a huge difference right there. And that's one of the things about Ditto that's a little bit tricky, is not being able to copy the HP stat. Urshifu, Calyx Shadow Rider, the Solgaleo, Regieleki, Thundurus, and Whimsicott. Okay, so this is a very interesting team dynamic. I think I'm not bringing Incineroar here. Incineroar is just too tough. Otherwise, I mean, I don't even have a dog type move, so it's probably okay here. I'm liking my lead of Tangrowth plus the... I don't want to lead Shadow Rider. Shadow Rider is too... It's not great here as a lead. I think it's actually Groudon. I think Groudon's actually really good offensively right here. I want to say Groudon plus Tangrowth because I threatened the Sleep Powder against them. And I think that's actually a pretty big threat right here. And then in the back, I'm thinking like Porygon or Foul Play and maybe like a Trick Room setup later. And then probably Calyx because it's my best damage output against the Solgaleo that isn't Groudon. But if they start to have Steel Spikes, it's just a little bit tricky. So I don't really like Eleki in the matchup too much. Although it could be useful. I'm just not exactly too sure. And then I think Incineroar, like Burning Jealousy could be nice, but... Bulldoze into the Max Quake, of course, activates the Shucker Berry, one of the weaknesses of Shucker Berry in these kinds of Bulldoze matchups right here. So let's see what's going to be brought out right here. It's going to be Thundurus Whimsicott, which is actually really good for me because Thundurus doesn't really accomplish too much right here. I do lead my Groudon plus my Tangrowth right here. And yeah, like this lead's pretty passive. I don't really see how I don't get like a Heat Crash off into the Whimsicott or Fire Punch even, I suppose. Fire Punch is probably just a better play and just go for the Sleep Powder attempt here. I could also... I don't have to get in my... I mean, I also could probably like swap out a Porygon, but I just don't feel like I need to, right? It doesn't do anything at this moment. So let's go for a Sleep Powder here and Fire Punch. Even if we miss, I don't think it's that big of a deal. They taunt my Tangrowth, which is fine. Okay. I don't mind this. Thundurus actually didn't Dynamax here, so what did they go for? A Fly immediately. Oh, maybe they thought I was going to Dynamax the Groudon. That actually works beautifully, especially if this is a Sash on the whim. Fire Punch going to come out into the Whimsicott. Oh, okay. Whimsicott's not Sash. Okay, but it makes sense. It's probably the Calyx Shadow Rider Sash. I wonder if it's like a Mental Herb on the Whimsicott, which has been picking up more popularity, or could have been the Eject button, but I didn't think they would go for the Switcheroo immediately. But let's find out who they're going to bring out, because I did get rid of their Whimsicott. Urshifu going to come in. The Dark Urshifu. Okay. I don't mind this. Do I? I don't think I do at all. I'm pretty sure I just go for the KO and Urshifu here. Like I Dynamax, I go for Quake into Energy Ball. Or did I Steel Spike? I don't know what their last mon is. They didn't bring either Solgaleo or Calyx Shadow Rider, so this is actually very interesting. But I think I'm going to go for Energy Ball here and Max Quake. Let's see if they protect Urshifu, which is fine, but they're losing a lot of offensive momentum at this point. And Tangrowth is still actually sticking around, which is actually pretty dangerous for them because they don't have Tailwind up. Because I could just switch out to Tangrowth and then I apply Sleep Powder and Rage Powder pressure the following turn. Boosting up the Groudon with Max Quakes is really good for the Calyrex in the back, if it is in the back, or if it's the Solgaleo, I can Steel Spike up. We're going to see... Okay, no Protects, which is really nice. An Energy Ball going to be fired off into the Urshifu. Really nice damage right there. Because they fly my Groudon. Okay. And maybe they expected my... I mean, they taunted my Tangrowth, so I'm actually a little bit surprised. But they Wicked Blow, double up my Groudon. Groudon able to tank that extremely well here. And then the Max Quake going to be fired off into the Urshifu and pick up that knockout. So Urshifu goes down and... Yeah, looking like a really solid spot. But there is the Solgaleo in the back. However, I think it's really tricky for them because I'm pretty sure Tangrowth next to Calyx just wins the game at this point. I could be wrong, though. I still have to get past... Let's see who they... It is Calyx in the back, though. Okay, this is actually really good for me. Like, even if they Dynamax Calyx, this is fine. I just go for a Quake here or Steel Spike here. I probably just Steel Spike here. They can't Airstream and attack at the same time. The Calyx should know that I could just double into it, right? So I feel like Porygon might try to come in here. I think my best play is actually just Steel Spike the Calyx and swap out into Porygon. Because at this point, I'm thinking their Dynamax option is going to be the Thunderous and go for Airstreams. If not, it's going to be a little bit strange of an end game, but it should still work out for me. If they Dynamax the Calyx, it's probably like really good for me because they can't really do much to Porygon. So I'll bring out the Porygon here. We'll trace the whatever ability, Define, yeah, into the Thunderous. And we do see a Dynamax here. This should be the Thunderous. I imagine that this is probably Protect plus Airstream if they're not specs, but I imagine this is Sash Calyx with Bulldoze with the Solgaleo. We do see the Thunderous Dynamax, which is not surprising because they kind of need to Airstream now. And with the Steel Spike boost, I should be able to get Trick Room up pretty safely, unless the double up actually KOs Groudon, but we'll find out if it does. We are going to see, yep, Calyx Protect here. Perfect. So this is what I kind of imagined. If they Knuckle, it's a little bit of a weird situation, but I imagine, yeah, they Airstream, so they outspeed the Tangrowth afterward. They Airstream my Groudon, which makes sense because now you could go for an Airstream Astral Barrage the following turn and do a lot. But yeah, at this point, it's looking really good for me because I just get a Steel Spike off into the Calyx. I break a potential Focus Sash. And you know what's funny? My Calyx can sweep their Calyx with Trick Room on my Porygon. I can go for Trick Room here. They're +1 speed. I go for the Quake here into the Calyx and the Trick Room, and I should have this sealed. With that Steel Spike boost, I do boost up my Porygon to a significant amount where Quake just wins the game now. So I Quake the Calyx and I go for the Trick Room here. And it seems really difficult for them to stop. Yeah, they're actually going to forfeit because I think they realize they can't even KO the Porygon 2 at this point. I don't actually think they could have a shot at KOing the Porygon 2 unless they, I guess, double crit. But even if they double crit, they lose their Calyx because I don't think they have a spread move that can affect the Groudon and the Porygon. Expanding Force is not in the psychic terrain. And yeah, then I just like outpower their team with either Trick Room or I KO the Calyx, and that means the Thunderous has to solo, which I still have a Sash Redirective Tangrowth still available to me, so it's really hard for them to actually win, especially when Dynamax is over. And overall, felt pretty solid about that one. Like the Tangrowth lead really worked out. Sure, I didn't go for like a Sleep Powder stuff. Their lead was pretty passive. It didn't really work out for them. The Tangrowth was actually kind of disruptive, and the fast Tangrowth could have actually really mattered. Gained the energy buff in their Shifu before it attacked, unless they doubled up into the Tangrowth slot, could have actually been pretty big, breaking that potential Sash on like any of those Pokemon. And then getting the Porygon in the prime position, I felt like was the really big one that just sealed up the game for me regardless. Yveltal, Solgaleo, a Crocodile, Tapu Fini, Rotom Heat, and the Dracozolt. Okay. Now, a few things that could get a little bit scary. The Crocodile with Intimidate, if it's a Choice Scarf, could be a little bit... Oh, man. It outspeeds Tangrowth, doesn't it? Because Tangrowth barely outspeeds, if I remember correctly. Yeah, barely outspeeds. That could be a bit of an issue if it's a Bulldoze next to the Solgaleo. If it is Choice Scarf, this is tricky. This is tricky. Rotom Heat's also a little bit scary. There's a lot of things that could go wrong here. I do want to go with the Tangrowth lead. The thing is, Tangrowth lead might not even be that great. There's a Tapu Fini involved, but I guess they got to play Yveltal's a main threat right here. I think it's probably like Groudon lead here. I think Groudon lead with the Tangrowth, set up for like a Calyx, Shadow Rider, and Eliki in the back. The thing is with Tapu Fini is that they had to bring Tapu Fini, and Tapu Fini is like, there's so many more threats that I'm more worried about. I don't think they're bringing Dracozolt here. Yveltal should always be brought here. Solgaleo I could see on the bench, but I think they might still bring it. Rotom Heat's probably coming. I'd imagine Crocodile is always coming. And then yeah, this is where it's gonna get tricky because I don't know if they do bring the Tapu Fini or not, but I am gonna bring the Tangrowth for the Sleep Powder potential right here. This is a very tough one. Like matchup wise, Yveltal of course is not exactly one of the prettiest ones right here, and there's just so much that could go wrong. Let's find out. It's going to be the lead of Yveltal plus the Crocodile. Yveltal Crocodile, okay. I guess, I mean, I can't find a, well, let's see who's faster, Crocodile or Yveltal. It is the Crocodile. Okay, so that should be Scarf then, I'd imagine. All right, because Dark Aura went after, unless it's a really slow Yveltal, which it could be. Maybe it's like the Assault Vest set. This is kind of tricky. I think I would like to exchange the Tangrowth here for the Crocodile if I can. I'm gonna go for the Energy Ball right here into the Crocodile, and I think I max this turn and I go for like a Steel Spike or Quake here. Do I want to go for that? I think it is probably the play. I don't have a swap. And I really need to get a Crocodile. Actually, no, I would just Blades or Fire Punch. I think I'm going to go for a Blades. No, I'm going to go for Fire Punch. Well, Energy Ball should KO the Crocodile anyway. So if I don't get the hit off because they bulldoze, then yeah, I'd rather just Energy Ball. They retreat the Crocodile. Oh, is this Rotom? Okay, this is really bad. I should have Rock Tombed. Energy Ball. I mean, it's not that bad actually because they didn't get the Bulldoze off, but they did get Intimidate off. We're going to see Snarl come out. Okay, so it is a defensive Yveltal. All right. This is, I guess, not as bad, but still not great here. Blades is gonna fail. Maybe I should have Rock Tombed, but I just wasn't sure here. Okay, if they want to overheat, they overheat. But yeah, I'm gonna Sleep Powder, attempt the Yveltal, and I'm gonna Rock Tomb the Rotom Heat because Nasty Plot's probably one of the scariest moves that could come out here. Willis could come out, but I don't think Willis is as big of a deal. I need to kind of like neuter their. I need to get damage on both of these Pokemon realistically, and I need a Sleep Powder into Yveltal just slows it down. A Rock Tomb helps me out against a Rotom because it means Aleki has a better shot to deal with the Rotom, or just put in range of Calyrex, Shadow Rider, which is pretty big because if they do let the Yveltal take a turn of sleep, the Rock Tomb into the Rotom Heat is pretty huge. Probably putting in that Astral Barrage Specs range. Sleep Powder, you know, sometimes it just happens. Snarl again though. Okay, Tangrowth with dodges. What did they go for though? Nasty Plot? I'm actually surprised. I'd imagine it's Rock Tomb. I'm faster than the Rotom. Okay. Huge hit in a Rotom. Citrus, or is it Goggles? I imagine it's Goggles. Oh, Volt Switch. What? Okay. Huh. Doesn't that work out really well for me? It does. Maybe it's not Brutal Swing on the Crocodile. I mean, I expect it to be Bulldoze, but maybe it is Brutal Swing. If it's Brutal Swing, that'd be really nice. Crocodile gonna come out again. I'm gonna go for a Rock Tomb into Crocodile, and I'm gonna go for a Sleep Powder into Yveltal once again. Because, I mean, they're playing a mind game regardless of... I don't know if Crocodile can knock out my Tangrowth without the help of Yveltal. So I think it's just better Rock Tomb the Crocodile and Sleep Powder the Yveltal anyway. With Snarl, it should be Assault Vest at this point to confirm. So once I get Aleki in, it'll be in a really good spot. I have taken quite a bit of significant early damage, but it's not terrible. It's like a playable game. It is definitely a playable game. I'm Rock Tombing the Crocodile in case they go back in the Rotom Heat and I punish it. They're going to retreat the Yveltal this time, which is fair. Into Solgaleo, actually. So that's like a Sleep Powder, which is actually pretty ideal here. They go for the Bulldoze. Okay. But that did a lot to their Solgaleo, and this is a Sleep Powder, so I don't know about that one, actually. I really don't know about that one. It is Choice Scarf confirmed on the Crocodile. I can't miss two, right? I can't miss two. Please don't tell me I'm not missing two right here. Okay, I hit one. Okay, that's big. That's pretty big. Okay. Now I can Sleep Powder the Crocodile and make sure that sticks around on the field. The reason is because if it switches out into the Rotom Heat or the Yveltal, the Sleep Powder should punish it, or Calyrex Shadow should be able to come in and dish out a ton. So, all right. Not a bad one. Not a bad one. Still playable. I'm actually very surprised about that Bulldoze. Yeah, they switch out to Crocodile. Show me it is Yveltal. Hit the Sleep Powder because this is actually a pretty big one to hit into that Yveltal. Come on. Come on, Tangrowth. We switch out the Groudon to reset stats. We bring in our Calyrex Shadow Rider. And let's find out. The Solgaleo is guaranteed to stay asleep this turn, which is important. And we're not Bulldoze, so we outspeed. Solgaleo gonna fail to protect or just take it to sleep. We do land the Sleep Powder on Yveltal. Okay, that's pretty huge. Okay, really, really nice hit right there. Okay, that is pretty big. All right. So now I have a few options. I think I want to reset the Tangrowth stats and get in Aleki and Astral Barrage here while I have the opportunity to, because I want to make sure I have pressure against their team. I need to weaken their team in general, and both of their prime maxers really are asleep right now, which is actually really huge because since their prime maxers are asleep, I can now go really aggressive damage wise here. The only problem is I might have to risk a sleep turn with Yveltal because it's guaranteed to sleep this turn, but next turn I might have to risk it still remaining asleep here and double the other slot. We'll find out. Oh boy. This is not exactly easy, but we are switching out to Tangrowth here. We might as well save the chlorophyll and sleep powder, rage powder options for later. We'll bring out our Eliki right here, and Astral Barrage will connect. They don't Dynamax the Pokemon, which makes sense. Here comes the Astral Barrage. Huge damage into that Solgaleo, and that does confirm Assault Vest Yveltal because it took the specs Astral Barrage way too well there, right there. We do get the boost with our Calyrex. Okay, next turn's really tricky. Next turn is really tricky. This should probably be Crocodile coming in. If it's Crocodile coming in, I'm clicking Max Strike into the Crocodile alongside an Astral Barrage. Let's see, because if they click Sucker Punch, it's just really bad here. But unless they decide to Dynamax and target the Eliki, but I don't know. Are they Dynamaxing the Crook here? Rotom comes in. What? I'm very shocked that the Rotom would come out here. Okay. Because I don't think it's that great realistically into my team, but I mean, my play here is always just to max lightning here the slot. And what do I do with Calyrex? Am I Astral Barraging or am I switching out here? Because if I switch out the Calyrex, it's kind of okay. I avoid the Sucker Punch threat, but if they don't Sucker Punch, that means I get rid of their Yveltal and then I get free max strikes off. So do I even care about that? Like, the risk reward is me punishing the Crocodile for the Yveltal switch, and I get big damage in the Rotom Heat if it Dynamaxes my KO. So yeah, I think I take the risk reward play here, because I feel like I probably knock out the Yveltal with just that little bit of chip damage I did from the Astral Barrage, but it might come down really close. Even if I don't, Rotom Heat can't pick up the knockout against me, so I think it's fine at the end of the day anyway. So we bring out the Eliki here. Let's see, because this is a pretty important turn. Oh, ally switch. Okay, that makes sense. But they didn't Sucker Punch, so I still get a lightning off into the Rotom. Actually, this is still not that bad because I gave it a Rotom, a single target into the Yveltal. I guess if they get Snarl off, it's kind of annoying, but I mean, I guess I don't know who they're maxing in the late game, but I mean, I just max strike the... I just max strike, right? I would just max strike, or no, max lightning the Yveltal the following turn. Astral Barrage is going to come out. It should definitely be in range of, I think, after this Astral Barrage. Single target +1. A little bit more extra damage, yeah. And they do wake up. Okay, they do go for Snarl. This should KO the Calyrex right here. Oh, wait. That's not ideal, actually. Wait, is it? It's probably okay. It's not the best, but it's okay. Okay. They're going to bring out the Crocodile here. The Crocodile is actually way more healthier than I would like. Okay. I mean, they might go for the last ditch Sucker Punch. I think my play is always just to click a max lightning here into the Yveltal, and I think swap out here in the Groudon makes the most sense to me, because they're probably targeting... I don't know who they target down with the Crocodile. I imagine you're just gonna go on the off... Well, you could Dynamax the... I guess one of the promises you could Dynamax the Yveltal here. With that Snarl decrease, oh, this is so close because I actually don't know. The numbers look really close because it'll basically be a Dynamax Assault Vest. It'll be a Dynamax Assault Vest Yveltal. Basically, it'd be like if the Yveltal was at full, but I have Electrotrain and Life Orb, so I have no clue. If they Dynamax the Crocodile, we're in an amazing spot, but if they Dynamax the Yveltal and survive, this is really, really tricky. Because I can't even stay in with the Calyrex because it doesn't outspeed. Okay, Yveltal Dynamaxes. Okay, this is the moment right here. This is a big, big moment right here. All right, do I KO the Yveltal? It shouldn't have Max Guard, I'm pretty sure. So a Max Lightning does get fired off into the Yveltal slot and doesn't pick up a knockout. Okay. This Airstream. Bulldoze comes out. Okay, they locked themselves into Bulldoze though. So I actually have a shot. Let's see what did the Yveltal do? Airstream? Should be Airstream. Darkness into the Eliki. That's fine, right? No, that's fine. Oh, I actually... Is that fine? Oh, Crocodile might just clean me up in the end game. 8 outspeeds Calyrex, Shadow Rider. I could go Tangrowth, I suppose. Oh, geez. I have to go for the Rage Powder here and a Fire Punch. Yeah, I have to Rage Powder Fire Punch into the... I think I might just have to hit a Blades in the end game and hope Crocodile goes down to single target Blades. Because I have to Rage Powder here. It's because this is Bulldoze into an attack from Yveltal. It should knock out my Tangrowth, which is fine. It's kind of rough because my Tangrowth was supposed to be my Crocodile answer. Then the Crocodile is just going to be able to keep bulldozing, so I might have to hit a move. And I don't think I can afford to Rock Tomb because they're probably just Airstreaming this turn. I would Airstream here at least. I wouldn't Max Darkness. I would just Airstream. So we Rage Powder with our Tangrowth here to protect our Groudon. We also need Fire Punch to KO because if we don't even KO the Yveltal with Fire Punch, the game's over. Bulldoze. Groudon's tanking it, but the problem is the next turn. Yeah, I have to hit the Blades here. The upcoming turn. Airstream, and I gotta hope it KOs with the bit of chip we got. Airstream gonna come out into Tangrowth, does pick up the knockout. Fire Punch has to KO the Yveltal first. That's a big one. Does Fire Punch KO the Yveltal? I don't want to click Rock Tomb and miss, so I'd rather click Fire Punch. It's just a little bit less damage. If I get punished for it, I guess I'm saluted for that. Fire Punch into the Yveltal. Does pick up the knockout. Okay. Fire Punch should not knock out Crocodile at all, though. So this is going to come down to... the Crocodile is also +1 speed, so it definitely outspeeds my Calyx Shadow Rider. So now... Groudon? Oh, why do we have to be in this position? Why do we have to be in this position specifically? We gotta hit the Blades. That's just how it goes sometimes. I'm locking it in. We're gonna click Leaf Storm. We're clicking Blades here. All right, Groudon, because it's Bulldoze here into a single target Bulldoze, and I think that'll be enough to knock out the Groudon here. Wait, that did a lot less than the first one. Okay, maybe I just gotta hit 1 out of 2. I should have Fire Punched then, but I didn't think that did. I thought it did 30 the last time. All right, Precipice Blaze does connect on the Crocodile. Do we KO? It survived. Okay. Got a Fire Punch. Wait, is Fire Punch the right play even? Yeah, it is the right play. That Crocodile I don't know. Is this a roll? Fire Punch into Crocodile. It's a big one. Bulldoze, it is choice locked. Okay, Groudon does survive. Okay. We should finish off the Crocodile with Fire Punch. Oh! That was a tricky one right there. Oh, man. Oh, wow. What the heck was that game? What the heck was that game? I thought it was like really bad. The goggle, like the Yveltal, the goggles, and the Rotom Heat, they didn't take offensive positions. They took the Bulldoze into the Solgaleo on the Switch, which was a really interesting choice. They got Sleep Powder punished heavily for that one. And then afterward, yeah, I was able to make a comeback because I was really down in that game. And that Bulldoze Choice Scarf Crocodile was just screwing me over because it outspeeds Tangrowth, because it does outspeed Calyx Shadow Rider. So it definitely outspeeds the Tangrowth, which just barely outspeeds the Calyx Shadow Rider with the Chlorophyll. And oh man, playing around that Pokemon was just so demon mode. It was demon mode, but thankfully the Groudon able to come through in the end game and hit that Precipice Blades, because I think Fire Punch 2-shot, but I thought at that point like the Bulldoze ranges seemed really strange, but Groudon was able to survive, which was really clutch. I think the Tangrowth just being able to put on the pressure with the Sleep Powder, because they didn't respect the Tangrowth. They were playing really defensively against it, and sure, it didn't do much damage to 3 of their mons, but when you're having the option to have Sleep Powder and play around those sleep turns, could have gotten devastating, especially if the Yveltal took an extra turn of sleep, but it probably just ended it right there. And yeah, luckily I was able to get the knockout into the Yveltal and isolate the Crocodile, locked in the Bulldoze at that point. And that is the show. Tangrowth, kind of a fun mix-up, especially if they don't know what the Tangrowth set is, because Regenerator, of course, you know, we've seen a Moongaze, of course, it does have the lower accuracy with Sleep Powder instead of Spore, but the Rage Powder option is super solid, which Venusaur doesn't have the option, and the Chlorophyll is kind of like that mixed one, and it's actually really, really solid, as we saw today. It really gave us some really strong options for the support. But if you did enjoy today's video, be sure to leave a like down below, leave a comment down below, really does help me out. You want to check out the details of the team and the creator down below in the description, and you can grab the rental code right here, and you can check out the rest of my Series 12 content, where I use a lot of cool teams, a lot of fun Pokemon. Why not check out the more of my Japan Nationals showcases? But otherwise, that's going to be it for me. Have a great day, people, and until we bow again, I'll catch you all later.